¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to another episode of Siembra Sessions, where we welcome artists, activists, game changers, and community builders to share their inspiration behind the work they do. Wow, let me just pull this over so you can take a look at this. So, this is what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about a mom, an entrepreneur, an actress, a game changer, motivational maven, April Hernandez Castillo, who's going to be talking about her book, Embracing Me. I had to read the book before I talked to her because I needed to understand exactly where she was coming from. And although we're not going to be talking about the book as much as her inspiration and her work ethic behind getting the book published, it's definitely a must read. I could not put it down. I actually had to put it down once and I felt guilty because I felt like one of the people that were silencing her. Like I put her on pause for a minute because I had to take care of something and I felt guilty about it because I just wanted to hear everything she had to say through her pages. So without further ado, I am going to welcome April Hernandez Castillo to Siembra. Welcome.
Is this really happening?
This is really happening. It's
Oh my
live.
goodness.
So I just need to pause for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to change the scenery here.
Okay.
Yo, you wrote a book.
Yo, I wrote a book, B.
You did that thing.
real New York.
You did it.
I
You
did
wrote
it.
a book. Can we just sit with that for a second? Like let's start at what happened 5 minutes ago. Like I'm sure you're getting emails, you're signing books, you're getting feedback from the community. So you learned how to embrace yourself through the book, but how are people embracing you now?
It's interesting because when you write, listen, I felt like a rap artist about to drop an album. And whenever it's an album, when they say it's the most personal work that they've ever put out, think about like a Nas, someone of that greatness. I felt like I was dropping an album.
This is your Illmatic?
This is my, oh my gosh, yes. It is my Illmatic, because obviously what you were reading, beyond personal that I'm sharing, beyond opening of myself and being vulnerable, transparent, and it was scary. It was scary, and I'm terrified, of it now. I've been mailing it out, and I go, wow, people are really gonna read this now.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's really
And
happening.
I had a friend call me today, and she was like, I only got up to chapter 4, and I was crying. I couldn't stop crying, and I'm scared to finish your book. And I'm like, no, don't be scared. She was like, no, but the way that you were able to communicate so much in the book, and even like, my first chapter is about being born in the Bronx. And she goes, you took me there. Like I was there. I saw everything that you were saying. And so to hear that, I just started crying.
Yeah, I agree with her. I think that it was very visual for me. And there's only a few people that have been able to take me there in terms of literature. Miguel Algarin being one of them, Piri Tomas another, and our good friend Ivan Sanchez.
Yeah,
that's his growing up, his story about growing up in the Bronx really took me there because I spent a brief amount of time of my teenage years in the Bronx during that time. So you definitely took me there. I told you this last night. You triggered me because there's stories in there that are so raw and so real that somebody or you love somebody who's actually gone through it, that you've witnessed it yourself. So it took me back to a couple of women in my life that I seen struggle in a similar fashion that you did. So I'm getting emotional already. Isn't that good? But thank you for writing this. Thank you for writing this for all the little girls that don't feel seen, for all the women who have hidden their scars over the years. This is something. You got something here.
You can't do this. I have makeup on.
No, I'm sorry. I mean,
it's the fact, it's funny because I was talking to my team which is my husband and one of my closest friends. She's my soul sister. We've known each other since 14. And, we've been discovering things about it. But today I said, I want to put out a message because when you look at my book, it's very feminine, right? And I understand it has a lot of feminine energy. So men wouldn't really be inclined to go pick it up and be like, hey, have you read this memoir? But you as a man, look at how it's gotten you.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why I read it. Obviously, this conversation is super overdue. I've known you for years, and I feel like I really know you now. Like, I don't feel like our friendship has even scraped the surface as to what I just read. So
Right.
this is very vulnerable. I could tell. Like, I'm telling you, I feel it. But also, there's a project I'm working on. It's a two-part project. One is a mental health conference, if you will, a digital conference for men. And then we're starting in Clubhouse, which you had an opportunity to hang out with me in Clubhouse. We're starting something called the Compadres, and it's a redefining Latino manhood conversation. So I thought that this would actually really position me to be in the headspace for that conversation next Monday. So this was multi-level. It was like me getting to know you, getting ready for this interview, but also really understanding from narrative what women go through and the kind of trauma they hide on a daily basis. And you, again, this is just your story, but imagine all the women that you know, and if they shared all their stories, you could encyclopedia of different types of traumas, of different types of triggers.
Right.
And these are the things that unfortunately men don't have perspective on sometimes, and we unknowingly trigger women on a regular basis without even knowing it, even without it coming from a bad place, but nonetheless, you know. So I think it's important for men to read this book for that reason, you know, for them to understand what their mommies, their tias, their sisters are going through, or maybe hiding, so that they can better support them. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And it's also not, I mean, yes, I share my stories and all the things that I experienced, but I mean, if you felt like an underdog, if you fought with your faith and what you believe in or God, if been broken down, it is a universal language that I did my best to try to speak about, right? This moving forward, overcoming adversity, forgiveness. Forgiveness is a huge piece of the puzzle to this book. Anyone can read it.
Yeah.
Anyone. And I want everyone, because, my husband played a huge role in my book. I mean, in my life, right? We've been together for 20 years now this year.
Yeah.
And so, he was so unafraid to go there with me that I think it'd be amazing for men to read my book.
Shout out to Zalo, doing amazing work. He shot the cover. Like,
Can we talk about the cover though?
Can we talk about the cover though?
Can we?
Now, what you can't see on the screen is the finish. Now, you see books all the time. You go to Barnes and Nobles, they have these shiny, glossy covers that fall off the book or whatever. This is a matte finish, hardcover. Like, this is, es una chulería.
Mira.
And Zalo shot the cover. You guys own a business. You own a film, Zalo Photography and Lion Chaser Films. So this, you put your man to work. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, so the inspiration behind the photo, when I saw Becoming, as for those of you who are wanting to write your book, you start researching to see what speaks to you, right? Color is huge and just everything. And so when I saw Becoming by Michelle Obama, I thought, wow, what regal. Like, she was just so classy and beautiful. And I said, I want my book to feel and look someone like that. Wow. So she was my inspiration, hands down. I did so much research on book covers. Like, there's a science to picking a phenomenal book cover that will keep people wanting to read it, right? You look at it and you're like, man, just from the photo, I want to see what this is about. So for those of you, especially self-publishers, they sometimes don't give themselves, they need to put the money in because a book cover is very important.
Absolutely. Don't judge a book by its cover, they say, but it really does tell the book.
But we do. We judge a book.
Absolutely.
Right? When you go on Amazon, if you walk through Barnes and Nobles, you'll figure out oh, why did that jump out at me? Yeah. And it could be a color, it could be the word. So yeah.
No, I definitely appreciate it. Have you been to a bookstore? Have you actually seen it on the shelf yet? Because I know the pandemic has everything shut down. So have you ever had the opportunity?
No, I haven't. I mean, it's on all platforms. It's on Barnes and Nobles. It's apparently on Walmart.com.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought, oh, mira que nice. I made it to Walmart.
Distribution. No, distribution. Listen, don't sleep on Walmart. They can sell you. They can sell you a lot of books.
Yeah. So the thing with, when you're publishing, so my friend Roy Juarez Jr., who is my publisher, he put it out there. He has Impact Publishing. It is independent. So when it comes to big stores, I don't know if they've caught on to independent writers.
Gotcha.
Which they should, because now everyone is self-publishing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was fortunate enough. I know you were selling it, or you're going to sell it through your website, but I actually bought it on Amazon because I had a time constraint. And when I tell you, and you laughed when I told you I had it already, literally 16 hours. It took 16 hours for me to get the book. I ordered it, and the next morning it was there. So I was very fortunate. I'm a speed reader, so I had 3 days to sit with it, and I got through it in 1 day, 3 hours. Like that's pretty much it, and that's what a break it todo. So
right.
So it's not a long read, but it's a very, very deep and impactful read.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it. Now I have a question for you.
Right.
And we don't know what the acclaim is going to be, right? We don't know what the impact is going to have in the space. But me personally, having worked with many writers and poets over the years, I have a feeling I have a good insight on what it's going to do. Have you thought about actually putting together curriculum to be able to go into schools? And because I know you're a motivational speaker, so I know this is what part of what you do.
Yeah.
But you've been doing it in bits and pieces over the years, and I've watched you. But now this is like a whole thing, right? So now how do you?
Right. So it's funny that you say that. I now am in the process of becoming a vendor. So for those of you who are speakers and you're trying to get, especially in the DOE, you cannot be hired or sell any kind of curriculum without becoming a vendor.
Right.
So yesterday I connected with someone who was like, oh yeah, totally, I'm gonna do it for you. And I felt like that's just God aligning everything now. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And so now I've been in the process of, I have a couple of ideas for curriculum. And I have so many connections, and just using freedom writers, right? Like teachers, freedom writers and teachers and principals go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are watching the movie, not so much students, because it's just different. Although it was kicking butt on Netflix this summer. So shout out to Netflix for doing that. But yes, that is the next thing. Right now, I'm just focusing on this book. And look, my goal is that it falls on Oprah's lap, right? That is the big dream. But the biggest dream is that real healing will happen when people read this book. Absolutely.
And what I really appreciate about you, and I think I've said this to you, we've had this conversation maybe a year ago, is that I actually, so I'm going to admit something really crazy. So, I'm a social media strategist, and I teach classes and cohorts to small businesses and artists trying to gain visibility on the internet. And one of the things that you were doing kind of made me look at you sideways for a minute. And it was that you were actually talking about these topics on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is such a water cooler office environment. So think about this. You wouldn't go to your office, your executive suite, your corner office, and start talking about issues with your family or your husband or your kids. It just doesn't happen in the workplace.
Right.
But you did this in the beginning of the pandemic. And I looked at you sideways. I was just like, why is she doing that? This is not the place for that. And I felt like I wanted to reach out and give you unsolicited advice, but I decided to sit back and watch. And I have to tell you that the results you've gotten from, and I don't even know the results. I'm talking from the outside. I'm like out from the outside looking in. The kind of engagement that you've gotten on LinkedIn has been astonishing. And I use you as a case study in my classes now.
Wow.
And I've had this conversation. I have a doctor, a pediatrician, that's doing these classes for new mothers to kind of deal with all the things that come with pregnancy that are not necessarily the baby itself.
Right.
And Dr. Divina Lopez, big shout out to her. And I was having a conversation with her, and I literally told her, I was like, listen, you need to be on LinkedIn. You need to have these conversations, because what I see happening is that there may be women who are traumatized from whatever happened in their life, whatever they're going through. They're staying away from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but they go to LinkedIn to look for the next job, the next opportunity, the next gig. and you're hitting them with something that they're not expecting.
Right.
And they're seeing that you're a professional, that you're actually out there doing your thing, motivational speaking at keynotes, at ERGs, etc. And they're like, wow, like you it's like when you're walking down the street and a corner preacher says something that kind of resonates with what you're going through at the moment.
Right.
And I feel like that's the kind of effect you had on LinkedIn. So it kind of really completely made me. So I'm publicly apologizing to you for looking at you sideways, but
I appreciate the transparency, brother. So it's interesting that you say that, because the majority of my audience has been on Instagram, right? I have over 12,000 followers, or whoever sees me, because with this algorithm, you never know who sees what.
Yeah.
Over the vacation, I said, I need to just take a break. So I took off Facebook and Instagram, like I told you, and I haven't figured out how to put it back on my phone because I hid it. I didn't delete it. And I said, I need to begin really taking advantage and really exploring LinkedIn. So I just started posting. I just started small. In the last 2 weeks, I've booked 2 Zoom videos from really influential LinkedIn users. So I had a meeting today. I have another one. I'm doing my first LinkedIn Live. I have a call with someone tomorrow who she works for iHeartRadio. And I have seen a tremendous jump in my LinkedIn profile and just connections.
Yeah.
What's amazing about the LinkedIn now, I think because of the pandemic, people have shifted to, you really need to be transparent and connect with people with your brand.
Yeah.
If you're just selling people now, they just completely shut down. So I rather connect with your emotion. And then once I find out who you are and what you do, it's powerful. So I did something very outside of LinkedIn. I had a post, and I don't know if you saw it, that I said my mental health is suffering.
Yes, I just see that.
That was terrifying, because that's not somewhere you go with LinkedIn. Hands down, the most impactful thing that I put up. I had so many people reach out to me. Men reach out and say, you have no idea how I've been dying to say that. And I was like, really? Wow. So I think it got like 1,500 views. It might be even more now. So I have really shifted my focus to LinkedIn, because I'm seeing like real results.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like, oh, let's connect.
Like, I can see it from the outside. Yeah, I can see it from the outside. So, it's definitely, again, you've been the topic of at least a half a dozen lives. I've talked about you in the group. I've given specific direction. I've taken screenshots and showed them exactly, the elements of your messaging and stuff like that. So thank you for shifting my perception. For sure, and helping me. And it's not a side eye in a bad way, because I really, I love everybody, and I love how people do their things individually. But I felt like, from my perspective as a expert, or whatever you want to call me, I felt like, oh my God, I hope this doesn't ruin her chances of actually getting a real opportunity. And it's exactly the opposite. And I'm man enough to say that, you know what, I was wrong, and actually use you as a teaching tool. In that sense, to teach people how to actually be vulnerable, be real and authentic. I mean, that's the lesson. At the end of the day, that's the lesson that I see. So I hope that LinkedIn continues to be that for you. I think that what shifted with LinkedIn specifically is the fact that LinkedIn was a place that you just went to when you had a job, when you needed a job, rather. And now, with everything happening, people are actually professionals in one realm, and then they're trying to start their gigs, or their part-time, or their side hustle, or they're trying to reconnect with people and find out where they are, where their network is. So people are more tuned in. And like I said, when somebody comes in with a message like your message, and they're not expecting it, it's toma. And then they're confronted with that, oh my God, like, this is really something for me. This connects, this resonates with me, and I have to explore it, whether it's by booking you, whether it's buying your book, whether it's having a conversation with you, or sending you a note of gratitude for what you're saying. You're really opening up people's eyes. So I appreciate that a lot. So let's talk a little bit about the process of writing the book. Now, I personally am in the process of writing a book, and there's things that I've had to omit. There's things that I've had to pull out because I'm afraid of hurting people's feelings. I'm going through a lot of changes with this book.
Right.
I've had to actually remove a pivotal character from the story because he hurt a really dear friend of mine. And like this has really been like disruptive to me.
Right.
You talk about some people who obviously you may have had to change their names because of who they are.
Mhm.
But how do you even negotiate this? Like in your mind, like how do you even come to terms with what goes in the book versus what stays out, what's too personal? I mean, I don't know. This is really personal, so I don't feel like you left anything out, but I could be wrong.
No, I didn't leave anything out. I didn't leave anything out because that's the whole point of embracing me. But I also, if you read it, it's all from a place of healing, love. Even, in chapter 3, I talk about my relationship with my mother, how intense and how, just it was just really, really hard, my relationship. And I was doing it from a place of I finally was able to understand why she was the way she was. I wasn't writing it from a place of like I hate you. And even when I talk about my abuse, the way I write it, I wanted people to just be there. When I first got slapped, I wanted you to feel that. I
Yeah,
wasn't going to sugarcoat anything. And that's why maybe some people will be triggered, which I totally get. But everything is written from a place that I have healed from.
yeah,
And that's the most important thing because I'm not trying to hurt the person who hurt me. I'm trying to give information for someone who's probably in the same situation that I'm in, and I want you to know that there's hope on the other side.
absolutely.
So if you feel that something is too much for you, there's writing is so beautiful that you can come up with so many ways on how to really express it without going there, and being and coming from a place of hurt. I always tell people, everyone says, oh, you have a story, you should share it. Yes, but it depends on when you share it, how you share it, and with whom you're sharing your story with.
So,
you know
so that said, and I don't know if you could even say, but is there anybody who you've had conflict with because of the book? Now that
no,
the book is out,
I mean, I don't know if the person who did the abuse, I don't know where he is.
yeah,
um if he reads it, then he might know, and that's fine. I didn't, once again, nobody will know,
yeah,
only he would if he picks it up.
yeah.
Everybody else, I talk about my dad's addiction, and I literally sat with my dad and I was like, this, he read what I wrote, and I said, are you okay with me exposing this? And he was like, absolutely. And I thought, okay, great. And then, my mom, she's not here anymore. So uh, that's pretty much some of the people that I had to be like, oh, okay with. But my dad's addiction was like the most important because that's his life, right? That's his. But the freedom that came about when he was no longer addicted, that's allowed me to be free as well.
Absolutely, and I could definitely relate to it. That's the thread of the story that really got me. Honestly, that and some of the descriptions of the abuse itself. Things I witnessed in my past with family members and things of that nature. Now, there obviously you said your mom is not with you anymore. Your dad already kind of knows what you wrote in the book. Maybe he hasn't seen the whole package, but he knows his piece in the story.
No, he read the whole book
Oh, he read the whole book.
and he
Okay.
was crying
Okay.
because there were things that I put about my mom that he didn't know. And like he went down, he said, I'm gonna read the book. And I was nervous. And I had to give him a disclaimer. I was like, listen, mommy's chapter, I go there. And so it might be a lot for you because that's your wife, right? My father, his experience with his wife and my experience with my mother are two different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when he came to me, he was crying. And we just sat there. And then we were able to have a conversation. And he was like, I'm so sorry
Wow.
that I didn't see that. I'm mad at myself, and because like I can't believe, those things that you experienced with your mother, and like I was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Which made me realize this is what the book is about. It's about healing. It's about having these conversations that are so hard, especially like with Latino parents. Especially from our, parents from, baby boomers, they never express their feelings. Now we live in a culture where everyone wants to express their feelings, but we have to also understand that many people still are not there.
Yeah.
So to have that, I was like, wow, I have to get this on camera. I have to get this on camera because this is what it is about. Like, hey, I'm your daughter, you're my father, but like, let's have a conversation. I want you to feel like you did everything you could to raise me well. And I thank you for that.
Yeah. And what I was getting at was the two people in the world that are going to see this completely different because they weren't there. They didn't experience this. They don't experience this as, you as a parent with Zalo, because you guys are like very loving parents. I admire your family unit. My cousin said something. Oh, what did she say? She said, "Oh yeah, you're shipping them." And I'm like, shipping. And there's like a term in social media that when you see somebody with a relationship that you admire, you're shipping them. Well, I'm totally shipping their relationship. Right?
Don't you just
You know what I'm saying? I get my latest breaking news from like 13-year-old cousins.
I love it. Me too. My husband.
But your daughters are gonna read this one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful for all the reasons you're probably gonna state now. But how does that like, are you looking forward to that conversation?
Oh,
I can't really discuss it, to like really go into it and explore every bit of it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. You see, my mother. Listen, I'm 40, and I'm still piecing together things about my mother, because my mother was so secretive, because she thought by not sharing her story with me, she was protecting me. But in the end, it did more damage. And when I decided to have children, I decided I'm going to break that generational curse of, no diga nada, like that whole no, like, if my daughter sees me crying, like I don't want her to see it. So I cry all the time in front of my daughter. I do not hide myself. I don't try to act like Wonder Woman. I don't want to be, and I don't care to be. My daughters deserve a mother who is healed. That's all. A mother who is completely transparent, and I need them to see that I don't always have it together, but we're going to figure this out.
Absolutely. And I have to say that, again, being a parent and looking at other parents and children and how they are in life, right? Your daughters are amazingly talented. Your whole family, everybody has their own business venture, right? You do the motivational speaking, you have the book, you're an actress, a writer, Zalo's the photographer and the film person.
Right.
Then your daughters are in front of the camera, like they're working on their own careers. And your daughter, actually, let me let you announce. Can you announce like what just happened last week?
Oh, listen, this is huge.
It's huge.
This is huge for us as a community. And I'm not just saying my family. So for those of you who might not know or do know, my daughter booked Alma's Way, which is an animation cartoon based on a little girl who's Puerto Rican from the Bronx, written by Sonia Manzana. She is like the Tia to all of us from Sesame Street, and it will air on PBS. So she is the voice of Alma.
That is amazing. And you know what's even more amazing? Like it's one thing, because when we watch Alma's Way, whenever we watch it, right, we're gonna hear her voice and we're gonna see her caricature of who she is as far as the role is concerned. But the video that you sent me of her announcing the fact that she has the role lets you know immediately why she's a star. Like she is like bona fide a star. And we're not, we're gonna see so much from her. I'm looking forward to watching Alma's Way, even though I have no kids to make believe to watch it with. I'm gonna have to just watch it. And just, we're gonna have to do that,
Turn up.
I gotta borrow somebody's kid or something, but we're gonna watch it, right? But I just love the way your family comes together and supports each other in each project. Like I see that, I've seen, how your husband has made sure that you've had the best pictures and the best image put forth, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, doesn't matter. what he's done for your daughter in terms of being behind the camera,
Right.
Watching her grow in that sense. I'm sure you're coaching her on her acting. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to see. And I hope that you understand the story behind that. And I hope that you're collecting and recording and just kind of like making sure you document as much as possible, because that's a whole other story,
Right.
And
Yeah. I mean, as a parent, I always feel if you're doing a good job, you should be their first mentor. We think about mentorship as, oh, I need to go outside of my circle in order to grow in leadership or being successful. But in my house, in our culture, no, we are your first mentor. We are the first mentors of everything, and anything that we know, we're going to instill in you. Now, if this is something that eventually she doesn't want to do, it's fine. But at least you tried and you gave it a shot.
she explored it. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So when I did my TEDx talk, my daughter was like, "Oh yeah, mom, I want to be a TEDx speaker." She has no idea what TEDx is. And she said it. She was like, "I know exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk about how God loves everyone."
In its simplicity, one of the most important conversations you can have today.
Yeah, my daughter's like, "You don't know that God loves you? What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, most people don't, baby, but it's okay. And then, we saw her acting ability when she was about like 4 years old. So I've been putting her in front of the camera around 4. And when she booked this, so Elaine del Valle,
Yeah,
she,
Bronxville bread.
yeah, I love Elaine, and we sent in the tape, and she worked with Summer, and it was all on Halloween because we were socially distancing, we were staying home,
Yeah.
and it's one of those like perfect timing, and it was because of Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz, another he's the guru,
He's my guy.
he's my guy,
He's
and
my guy.
he's the one that recommended Summer.
Wow.
And it was all because he did a rap song about school.
Wow. Amazing. Elaine is dope. I want to congratulate her. She just sold a pilot to a major network. Elaine is from Brownsville, which I'm from East New York. I always claim East New York, but I was actually born in Howard Projects on Pitkin and Rockaway. So I'm from Brownsville. It's so dope. It's so dope to see all of us. I know Elaine for years. I know, obviously, me and Vic have worked together for years on so many different projects. And you worked with Vic on his feature, which was an amazing performance from you in Stockroom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing for us to see each other. And I always joke with Victor. I said one day we're going to be on, like, I don't know, one of these night shows, the Tonight Show or whatever. We're going to have jokes about all these little stories that we have with each other. We're gonna be that crew that comes from the same place that all have made it. And I totally see that. But going back to the parenting thing,
right?
One of the things I'm not 100% familiar with, but I do know, I'm aware of it, is that you and Zalo also put together certain parenting courses, or you did some cohorts and things like that for parents. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Of course, yeah. So my husband, he's been an educator for over 10 years. He's a high school teacher at St. Raymond's for boys. And my background, other than acting, I don't know if you know this, but I've been working with youth for years. That's been just like in everything, facilitating, speaking. And so the amount of information that we kept saying, like, I don't really know if parents are in tune with their children, especially in the 21st century. Raising a child in the 21st century is completely different than how we grew up.
Absolutely.
And parents need, I always tell them, you have to move that mindset of, I'm the parent and you're the child and that's it. That is, you're just going to lose your child. And so we created that in the sense of, man, we really want to uplift parents. We really want to empower them to understand the power of their voices as parents, because I feel like, we're so censored now. We live in such a censored society that even parents are censored. They're afraid to hurt their child's feelings or really like set the tone. And I'm just there like, listen, honey, I am the parent, but I'm also a student. And it's very hard for parents to take that position.
Yeah, but how much does and you know again we he's always behind the camera, so you know and I hope to have a conversation with him one day about his you know his upbringing, etc.
Right.
How much does his martial arts background play into the parenting thing as far as discipline? I was always curious about that. Like when I saw it, I was like, I wonder what it comes from. Like you know, and I'm assuming
Right.
that the martial arts actually plays a really big part of it.
Yeah, the MMA. So Summer really grew accustomed to MMA. My girl could do a chokehold real good.
I love it. She's prepared.
You know, it was powerful because it's all about the mindset. It really is like, you know, pressure to power. That's what they think, pressure to power. So with the amount of pressure that we experience in today's society, how can I teach my daughter to take this pressure and really use it to become powerful? How can I build my daughter's foundation so that way if she is bullied, it's not going to happen? Right? And you don't learn to defend yourself to hurt someone. You learn to defend yourself so you don't have to hurt someone.
Exactly.
Right. So I constantly tell her, listen, you know, as girls, we just have it hard. We just have it harder. And usually like other girls are meaner for some reason. I don't like that. You know, I've experienced it on my end and I go, I don't understand. Why can't we just all empower one another? But building the character is key.
Yeah. And I think that what's really great about you two as a power couple, right? And I'm going to use that term very intentionally. As a power couple, you have her the discipline. She knows how to protect herself. But then on your side with the book and the way you raise her, she also knows who to come to so that she doesn't have to write a book like this years from now. So that's really, again, you know, again, I really watched you, April, and I watched Zalo, and I've seen your daughter grow, you know, in the tidbits that you shared with us on social media. And that's what I see. I see somebody who's very well prepared to deal with whatever happens because she has two people in her corner that she trusts in anything that she could possibly encounter. And I just want to thank you publicly as a parent because you've even made me reflect and what I'm going to have to do with my grandchildren. You know, like whatever I kind of failed at as a parent, or I felt that I failed at as a parent, I'm going to have to redeem myself with my grandchildren. And I feel like I'm learning those lessons from you guys. So thank you.
Wow.
This is just a gratitude fest. I'm so grateful for you.
No, that's really. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, being a mother and not having a mother is feels unfair sometimes. And especially because I didn't have a good relationship with my mother. I felt very robbed of many things. And so you just saying that, you know, I wrote this book so that way she doesn't ever have to write this kind of book. Like, that's deep. I didn't even see that. Because, you know, I never thought that I would be a mom. And I never thought that I would be a good mom because of my trauma. And so just to hear that, I just really appreciate you. So thank you.
We appreciate you. I want to shift gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to run your mascara, and I don't want you to lose the lip. I want to talk a little bit about the business side of publishing,
right?
Because there's so many people. You've been in Clubhouse with me. Oops, hold on. I lost my headset. You've been in Clubhouse with me, and you've heard all these different creators, podcasters, authors, poets, rappers, singers, producers, and they're all looking for resources, and the resources are very easy to come by,
Right.
but people don't know what to do with them once they have them. And as a result, a lot of people connect with each other, but they don't really know how to leverage each other. So I would like you to talk a little bit. I'm not even going to prompt you with questions. I want you to share whatever you think that new authors need to know about the publishing world, whether it's self-published or working with an agent or whatever. But I just want to get your feedback on that so that we could somehow make that part available to people who are where you were a couple of years ago.
Right. So when you go to a publishing house, and Ivan really was coaching me because it was with Next Stop. So Next Stop was published by Simon and Schuster.
Okay.
Now, to be a kid from Creston Avenue in the Bronx and get Simon and Schuster is huge. But they didn't do anything with it. And they take a lot of money from you. So, everybody wants to be a Target and a Walmart, but no one wants to focus on the small mom and pops or the bodegas, because we think if I'm here, then it's better. And that is not always the case. So, for instance, I own 100% of my book.
That's awesome.
This book right here, my publisher, Roy Juarez, he was like, I don't want to own your story. I want you to own it. So that way, whenever you get royalties or whenever you go to schools and they buy 1,000 books and you're getting a check for $15,000, that is all to you. I'm here to guide you and I'm here to take a percentage and that's it, but I'm not here to own you. And that was the mindset really of ownership. And I was tapping into Prince, okay? Prince, ownership. So the fact that I get to say, I own my book. I own my story. Nobody else owns my story but me. So if you want to make my book into a movie, boo-boo, we have to talk. So number one, right? It's about bigger is not always better. If you are not, a celebrity chef or reality star or an athlete, listen, I went to a publishing company and they said just the fact that I didn't have over, I think, 20,000 followers. This was a couple of years ago. They weren't even going to look at me.
Wow.
Right. And I'm like, but I have an amazing story. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And if who you are. And even at that, I have clout. I was in a movie. I have been in things. I'm a TED, and it's one of those. And so I had to get to a place with like, do I either continue to pursue them or do I just do my own thing and make my own way? Thank God we live in a different world now where people are looking for, people like me to be like, wow, I want to know how you did that. So for the people who are writing your book or, bigger is not always better because that means they own you. And when they own you, you can't really do much. And I didn't want to be owned by anybody.
Absolutely.
But on the other side of it, it is more work, but with so much social media and branding and how do you get stuff out? Like my goal is to really get it out there. And also who's in your network, right? Who is in your network that can help you leverage and get to one thing, get to the other, and investing in, listen, if you're going to invest in anything, it's investing in your editor. Because you can have an amazing story. If you don't have a good editor, it doesn't matter, right?
Your photographer or the person who designs your book. I've seen a lot of bad books, a lot of self-published bad books, and you're like, this is not a book. This is a workbook, right? This is a workbook. This is not like, come on. If you're going to do this, if you're going to go all out, then go all out. So those are the things that I've learned, and those are the things I'm teaching now of like, okay, you want to write a book? Like, let's really talk. What's the story? Do you know how to write? Do you know how to find the thread and keep people moving and turning the page? I mean, a book is really a movie. It's a script. That's how I saw it. And every word was intentional. So these are all the things to think about. Awesome. Thank you so much. So you're a resource. You have a lot of experience in a lot of different spaces. You do the motivational work, you do the parenting work, you're writing the book, you're doing all these things. How and in what way are you available for people to connect with you? Tell us a little bit about how you want to work with people, collaborate, etc.
I mean, like you talking about like social media. Is that
you're a resource. So if you're available for consulting,
right?
what things are you available for?
So one of the things that I've really been thinking about and really growing. So I'm like the creative director, for Lion Chaser Films, and I've been coaching a lot of people about image branding. Image branding, like the photos that you put out, that it's not just taking a picture. Anyone can take a picture, but when you catch a moment, when you do something, so that kind of branding gets me so excited. And I could talk about that all day, all night. And I see so many people on profiles and their pictures, they really have no idea that just by a photo, if it's not eye-catching, I'm not going to really pay attention to you. And I hate it. I hate it because it's so vain, but it's so important. And I just want our people to win. I want you to look as good as, someone who's a high-end influencer, but you don't have, all the money, but you can still make it look good. My mother used to always say, you're poor, but you don't need to look poor.
Absolutely.
We were poor, but she was like, that don't mean that you got to look all and smelling bad. No. You had the Vaseline to hold your baby hairs down and you kept it moving.
It's so Bronx. I swear to God. You're so Bronx.
The Vaseline and it's one of those, like it's just that, and really understanding like the power of the camera and being in front of a camera. Now we live in a camera world. But what are you saying? See, because the camera never lies. We do. The camera does not lie. But we do. We can manipulate it. We can manipulate it to think whatever we want. But when people see you, they're going to see you.
They're going to compare.
They're going to compare
what they see in real life versus what they saw.
It's like when you're watching a movie and you know that the character is like, man, that was real. That wasn't a character. That was that person really feeling
Absolutely.
it. Whenever you watch Rocky, I could watch Rocky 10,000 times and I still cry. When he's so honest, and I think like, man, let's begin being transparent. That's what I've been branding myself about, being transparent. There's power in being transparent. And what does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when I saw Tom Cruise in real life, and I realized that he was really, really short.
He's so short.
But they make him look larger than life in film. It's crazy.
Right. And even actors around him, I'm telling you, they always ask like, how tall are you? And I'm just like, what? Why does that matter? On a good day, I'm like 5'2" if I have hair.
April, is there another book in the works?
Absolutely.
Do you want to do this again?
Oh, you have to be kind of crazy to write a book. But my next book is going to be about motherhood.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I eventually want to write a book with my husband. And we're working on my daughter's books right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
April, I have to tell you, I thank you for the opportunity to have this chat with you. Like I said, we've been friends de lejito for many years. We run in the same circles, and it's so ironic that in the pandemic is when we actually get this close, right?
Right.
Because I get to remove all the distractions, and then I can actually appreciate, reading your work. So I'm a fan of your writing now. I've been a fan of your acting career. I've been a fan of so many different aspects of your life, and now I'm a fan of your writing as well. So I thank you for coming here. And tonight, this show is actually brought to you by Antes de Morir. And Antes de Morir is a project by my business partner, Papo Swiggy, and he's putting together a visual anthology of narratives of things that people would like to say before they pass, before they leave this world, because life is so fragile. We know this living in these times. So I just want to run a quick trailer before we say goodbye to you so that you could see the type of work that, powerful stories like yours and Papo's and others are making their way in the community. We're being creative, and we're using our resources and the technology that we have in front of us to actually make these things happen. So let me find this clip so you can see this.
Wow.
I mean, there you have it. You know,
Wow.
means that, you know, regret is a terrible, terrible thing to carry with you. Um, I often share that my grandmother was a social worker, and she worked for the Department of the Aging. She was a founder of Meals on Wheels in Brooklyn, and I used to go with her, and I used to play dominoes with the viejitos in the nursing home, and I loved hearing their stories. I loved hearing the happy story. They're talking about their families and everything. But one of the things that used to always rip me to shreds was hearing them talk about their regrets.
Mm.
And to me, everything that I'm doing right now in terms of legacy, and I'm sure that you are as well, is to avoid that burden of regret. So Antes de Morir is a project that me and Papa have talked about for a long time. He conceived the project, and I'm so glad that he's actually making it happen, especially now, because I think contextually there's never been a better time to have that conversation than now. So
Wow.
so if anybody's interested in participating, definitely reach out, and you know, I'll put you in contact with Papo, and I think we're taking submissions up until February 12th.
You know,
So,
it's interesting that not one person talked about money or branding on that list. Like I didn't see any of that.
yeah, no.
And you know, we're so driven now by branding, by numbers, by likes. And I was talking today about, more importantly, like your character is the thing that you should be driving.
Yeah.
My mother passed away a broken woman. My mother passed away with unfulfilled dreams. My mother passed away with shame and lots of regret. So my why is very clear. I want to live out every dream and every goal and all my purpose that God has for me. That's why I was crazy enough to write a book during the height of a pandemic, because I want my daughter to dream and to see that even in a pandemic, you can create out of chaos.
That's amazing. So I have been very intentional on not sharing a crazy amount of the book because I want people to read it.
Right.
And I'm sure you want them to read it as well.
Yeah.
But I'm going to share one line, just one line.
Okay.
And people are not going to know how it leads up to that one line, but they'll find out when they read it.
Okay.
April, it's your time to shine. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. And you know, obviously you have a home at Sofrito for your soul. Anything that you need to promote for you, the babies, for Zalo, or Nuestra Casa Tu Casa. So I look forward to the time that we could actually get together and break bread and have more intentional conversations around life and sharing info and knowledge. But until then, we support you. We'll continue to promote you, and just looking forward to everything that you have to offer the world. Thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Mi gente, that's it for this episode of Siembra Sessions. We thank you for joining us. Please consider sharing this post, this video with people that you think it will resonate with. If you're interested in the book, it's called Embracing Me. Again, Embracing Me. Okay. I got my camera angles. Okay. Embracing Me. It's on Amazon. It's $20. You can get it literally within 24 hours. If you're in New York City, you're going to get it within 24 hours for sure. But definitely get it. It's a beautiful piece. It's very in depth and con mucho corazón. So that's I can't say enough about it. Thank you so much and have a great night, folks. Love each other. Take care of each other and stay safe.
Yeah!